Hi. Wait, I don't have an intro for this video. Well, this is awkward. What do I do here? Just cut to the title screen. Hey everybody, it's me, the incredible Mr. Watson, as I'm sure you know now by the title screen, and if you are new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'm sure you'll like my content. If not, go ahead and subscribe anyway. I don't know what else to say. I mean, if you don't like my content, don't subscribe. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't like it, subscribe. I don't know. Anyway, so as I'm sure you can tell by now, this video is my top 10 pet peeves, the things that get on my nerve the most, and they're not in any kind of order. Well, my most annoying pet peeve is the last, it's number 10. Actually, no, they're not in any random order at all, actually. It's just kind of jumbled around, but they're pet peeves, and they're my top 10 pet peeves. My number one pet peeve, or for number one, we have hearing people chew. Okay, if you are sitting beside of me, in front of me, or anywhere around me, I do not want to hear you chew. If you enjoy your food, that's fine, but I don't want to hear you chew. And those people who eat food and are like, like, they're getting into it. And I'm like, if you enjoy your food, that's fine, but I don't want to hear you enjoy your food. That is disgusting. Don't be making out with your food over there. That is gross. Do not do that. That is one of my, biggest pet peeves, is when you're in a restaurant and people are like, oh gosh, this is so good. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad you enjoy your food, but keep it to yourself, please. Thank you. Hello? Are we still recording? Sorry, it just said something about recording stopped, and I don't know what happened. But, I'm back. Anyway, my number 2 pet peeve is people who... People who watch Dr. Pimple Popper and expect you to watch it too. Okay, I am not into all that stuff. I don't like it, but my mom does, and there are other people who do, but my mom will take over my Chromecast sometimes, which is in my room, and send it to my TV just to mess with me because she knows I don't like it. But people who, just because they like it, think that you're gonna like it, that bugs me. I cannot describe how disgusting that is to me. I don't want to watch somebody else's pimples getting popped. Ew, that's gross. If you like it, that's fine, but do it in your own privacy. Don't, be trying to show it to other people. People are weird about that stuff. I'm weird about that stuff. I don't like it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it. Don't talk about it. If you want to do it by yourself in your room, in your privacy, fine, but just don't point it out to me. Number 3 is when people are singing one of your favorite songs and they just don't sing it the way you've heard another person sing it. And it messes with me. Like, if I hear a song one way and then someone else sings it, or I hear it come on the radio a completely different way by somebody else, I'm like, what are you doing? That's not okay. I don't like it. It drives me nuts. I don't know how to give an example of this, but, just for an example, if, Let's see, there's one song. Oh, for an example, on my newest CD that I have purchased, it's the Car Family Finish Well. It's from like 2015, but I just bought it this year in 2017. But, there's a song on here. Okay, I don't listen to 88.1. I don't like it, which, okay, let me back it up and say this. It's a Southern gospel music station, but I don't like the way some of the people sing on there. I don't, to me, it's not pleasing to hear some of their voices, like, when it sounds old. I don't like that. That bothers me. But, for an example, on here, there is a song called Just Another Rainy Day. And I was listening to it with my mom, and she said, you know, they play this song on 88.1 all the time. What kills me is you don't like 88.1, but they play stuff like this on 88.1 all the time. I'm like, yeah, but it's not by the Car Family. The Car Family, I love them dearly, and y'all, if y'all are watching this, I do really appreciate your ministry and everything that you do. I love your music, everything. Preacher Brent, I love your preaching. Anyway, moving on. They have voices that I know I already like. I don't care what they were to sing. If they were to sing it, and it was the first way I would hear it, if I would hear it on 88.1 and someone else were to be singing it, I'd be like, no, that's wrong. They're not singing it right. It's like, everybody may sing Amazing Grace a little differently. But if I've heard it one way, one specific way, and then someone else sings it in a different way, it totally just drives me nuts. Anyway, moving on from that one. The next one is people who make fun of overweight people. I'm plus size, y'all. I mean, I may not look it through the camera, or it may not be as noticeable, but I've got a little bit of a pudge. I'm plus sized. I jokingly call myself fat boy, but it's okay when I do it to myself. But when someone else does it to you, that's not okay. And that's just, bullying in general, but especially overweight people. Because what you don't realize is that, not in all cases, but in some cases, people who are overweight are already suffering from depression. I know I suffer from depression, and I'm not overweight because I suffer from depression. Actually, come to think of it, it might be part of my problem. But anyway, regardless, when you make fun of them, and when you constantly are calling them names... Now, if they're one of those people, like if you've seen Pitch Perfect, Fat Amy, who calls herself Fat Amy, that's her name to everybody. Everybody calls her Fat Amy. She makes fat jokes all the time. She's fine with that. If they're fine with it and you want to participate, that's fine. Just make sure they're not getting offended or hurt. But if they're not okay with it, and they haven't said anything to themselves about it or to you about it in a joking matter, then it's not okay. And a lot of times, like I said, the people who are overweight are suffering from depression enough already from being overweight a lot of times. Some people are fat and happy. Honestly, I'm kind of that person, but at the same time, I do want to lose weight just for health reasons. I do want to be healthier, but I'm happy with my figure. Sometimes I don't like the way I look, but anyway, we're not going to get into that. My point is, when you're making fun of people who have been made fun of maybe their whole lives, maybe they couldn't help it when they were little, but now they especially can't help it because they get depressed and they get to eating. A lot of people eat when they're sad or depressed. I know I have before. I'll just, like, when I'm sad, nothing helps my mood better than to eat a whole pizza from Domino's. A whole Domino's pizza, y'all. Just shove that down my throat and, like, over the lips, past the gums, look out stomach, here it comes. I've eaten a whole Domino's pizza. But when you constantly make fun of people who are overweight, I don't care how much overweight they are, whether they're just a little bit pudgy or if they're as big as a house. You don't do that. That really messes with me. And if I find out that you are making fun of them, I will call you on it. That is something that really hits home to me. I've been made fun of my whole life for being overweight, and making fun of overweight people is not funny because their health is at risk. And it's like you wouldn't make fun of somebody with cancer who's bald, right? Well, you won't make fun of them with cancer because they're dying, and you don't want the last things you've said to them be something hurtful, and then for them to die with that thought in their head. Well, I got news for you. Diabetes is a very serious matter, and people who are overweight, I mean, I know people who aren't as overweight can have diabetes too and stuff like that, but people who have diabetes or who are overweight can easily die at any moment either, because, I mean, not trying to scare anybody, but I'm just saying, it's still deadly. I mean, it's still a possibility, and you don't want the last thing that you've said to that person to be something negative and hurtful. You might can encourage them to lose weight, but do it in a roundabout way. Be like, hey man, I was going for a walk, I was wondering if you were interested in coming, or do you want to come hang out with me, or will you come hang out with me? I'm bored and I don't want to be alone. You want to come walking with me. Invite them to go places and be active if you want to. Do it in a roundabout way, or, tell them, I'm worried about you and I don't want you to feel bad about yourself, so let's work on this together. But don't make fun of them to their face. Just do not do it. I can't stress that enough. Anyway, moving on. Number 5 is pickers. People who pick things off of you. I'm like, can you not just leave me alone for 5 seconds? My mom and some of my good friends, sometimes I am guilty of it, but it drives me crazy when you don't know the person. Like, my mom will go straight up and pick, like, a dog hair off of some random person. I just, or tuck in somebody's tag and be like, your tag was sticking in. You don't do that. I don't know. It really bothers me. I don't know why. Or people like my mom who will come up and randomly start, trying to get in your face and, pop my bumps. That is not okay with me. I'm like, let me do my own thing, let me get my own. But she's constantly in my face all you got a black head right there, you got a white head right there, oh, you've got some cysts right there, just because she watches Dr. Pimple Popper, she thinks she knows everything. Love you, Mom. But no, please stop. And if you do this to your children, please stop. They don't like it, they're uncomfortable with it, they don't like it. Would you like somebody in your face just constantly popping and squeezing and hurting you? No, get out of their face and let them breathe. If they want to go around with pepperoni face, let it happen. But when they start complaining to you, then you can be like, well, if you'd let me take care of some things for you, whatever. Or if you would take care of some things for yourself, whatever. Anyway, not going to spend too much time on that subject. Moving on. This is probably my actual number one pet peeve, like the thing that bothers me the most. Talking about venting. I vent. My mom vents. My grandma vents. My grandpa vents. I think everybody vents to someone else about something that bothers them at one point in time. But what bothers me the most is when you're venting to somebody, you just need to get it off. Because a lot of times venting is helpful because you can have all this stress built up and you just need to vent to somebody. And you need somebody who is a good listener and who, or who even will see your side and, be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. That little snake, whatever. Anyway. But when you're venting to somebody and they turn it back on you and try to act like the other person has a point, I'm like, no, they don't. Even if that other person does have a point, we don't care to know it. We just want to vent and get off what's on our chest, off our chest, and then we'll feel better. We don't need someone telling us that we're wrong, okay? Or I don't need someone telling me that I'm wrong. I don't like that. Sorry, my mouth is dry. I probably should get a drink, but anyway. That bothers me when you're venting to someone and they're like, well, maybe they have a point, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, they don't. They're wrong. Can't you see that? Hello? I'm venting to you here. I'm trusting you. Just accept it and move on, okay? Okay. Anyway, moving on to number 7. People who lie about... Well, I have one specific thing written down, but there are several different variations of it. People who lie about being sick to get out of stuff. For an example, or who maybe just over-traumatize what they actually have. If you have a headache, but it's not hurting so badly that you can't stand the light or sound or anything, and the light doesn't bother you, and you're not like this when someone turns on the light and you're on your phone, you don't have a migraine. You have a bad headache. If you can get on your mobile device, go outside, drive a car, post pictures, or anything else that has to deal with a lot of light and sound, you don't have a migraine. Newsflash, you have a bad headache. Yeah. Now, sometimes I've mistaken a really bad headache for a migraine, but then I stop and think about my symptoms. Am I sensitive to light? No. Am I sensitive to sound? Sort of, but you can be sensitive to sound and just have a really bad headache. So, before you go on Facebook, oh, I have a migraine, which most people who actually suffer from migraines are like, no, you don't. Maybe it's just my personal experience, but I know for a fact that with me and my mom and my grandma, when we have migraines, we go into almost hibernation. We go in our rooms where it's dark, We don't get on any form of social media or any electronic device for any reason. And we sit there. Sometimes our pain is so bad we can't sleep. So we sit there or lie there in the silence in a room in the dark, in a pitch black room. Can't see your hand in front of your face. If you saw your hand in front of your face, it would probably hurt to see your hand. I'm not kidding, it's that bad. But that's my family's migraine experience, and I've heard a lot of other people saying that when they have migraines, they can't even get on their phone. So think before you post. Or people who I've also seen people who will say something to get out of something, but then go do something else that might require just as much, if not more, stamina, or, oh, I'm just too tired to do that. Next thing you know, they're doing a Target run or a Walmart run. No, I thought you were too tired to do something with me. I mean, if you don't want to do something with me, just be blunt and honest. Just say, nope, I'd rather not, I'm sorry, or, no, I don't really feel like hanging out with people today. I'm just gonna go shopping and get my shopping done. Okay, that's fine, but don't be like, oh, you see, my stomach hurts, or I've got a bad knee and I can't do this, but then go do a Walmart run. You know what I'm saying? I sprained my knee, I sprained my ankle, I sprained this, I did that. Can't do this. But I can go do this. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Next on the list, number 8, is people who don't discipline their kids. I'm talking all places, in public, and at a restaurant, just any public general place, in a restaurant, at Walmart, at Bilo, at Target, at any of the other places where you shop. The people who don't discipline their kids absolutely drive me crazy. This video is running a little long. I'm gonna finish this thought, maybe. Nope. Alright. I will see you in the next one for part 2. Hey, welcome back. It's a part 2, shot really quickly. So, my last one was number 8, and it was people who don't discipline their kids. People who are letting their kids throw a temper tantrum in the middle of a Walmart's floor because they can't get a toy and not doing anything about it. Or people who let their children just sit there and scream and cry in the buggy while they're just ignoring them. Most people are like, well, I'm just ignoring them, why can't you? Well, because it's not our child. We shouldn't have to deal with your children yelling and screaming in the middle of a public place. It's just wrong. Control your kids, please. Thank you. Moving on, real quick, number 9. People who don't respond to your texts. Or, well, they do respond, but, 5 years later, or it seems like my mom does this to me sometimes. She won't reply to my text, but she'll reply to she won't reply to my text, but she'll reply to my Facebook Messenger message. And then she'll be like, oh, I just got your text. And it'll be 2 weeks later, I'll be like, Mama, I sent you that text the same day I sent you that Facebook message. Or just random stuff like that. That bothers me. Or people who will start texting you, but then just stop replying. Just there's something you've asked them, and they just stopped replying, I'm done texting you now. Okay, that's not how this works. Moving on is number 10. People who say one thing and mean another. I'm talking about people who basically are hypocrites. They say that... What am I doing with my hand? I don't know. Sorry. They say something, but they mean something totally different. they say that they don't want something, but then in reality they actually do, or something like that. People who, or even worse, are people who say something and they say they meant it, but you can tell they really didn't mean it. Like an apology. Like, anybody ever, like, hit the like button if you've ever experienced this, but I've had somebody apologize to you, and then, like you can, like, I sincerely am sorry, and, like, you're like, right, I can tell. But it's like, people who do that just drives me crazy. Alright, time is running out, and I know this has kind of been a longer video, and I will try to make them shorter. I've went off on several different tangents explaining each and every one of these. If you are new to this channel and you haven't already, hit that button down below and subscribe and become incredible like me. Also, don't forget to like this and my Facebook page. I will put the link down in the description below. Y'all have a great one. Bye!